Good morning. PCT day 9. Once again, sorry for not wrapping up last night's video. The last 2 days, we're doing 20 plus mile days. Plus yesterday I was trying to hurry in before the store at Crater Lake closed. And the restaurant at Crater Lake closed. Or Mazama Village down from Crater Lake. I can't remember where I left off. I'm pretty sure I was suffering through the endless burn area of yesterday. I'm going to go with yesterday being one of the top 5 worst days of my life. The burn area was just so long, like 7 or 8 miles, and then 4 more at least after it kind of let up to get to the road, then the road walk. I knew I was on a time crunch, but I just had to keep stopping. That's the other thing. The last reliable water before the burn filled up both my water bottles and knew there's going to be a long time, so I was very conservative about what I drank, but it didn't matter. It was so hot, so I'm just barely taking sips of super hot water, and it just wasn't enough. I'm trying to manage it versus how much I have left, and I got down to like just the tiniest little bit when I got into Crater Lake last night of water left. That was another motivating factor to get in time. But anyway, yeah, there's supposed to be one spring in the middle of the burn. I looked for it for a little bit because I was down to like half a liter at that point. But you're exposed in the middle of the day trying to look for a spring. I didn't see anything marked, or it showed on gut hooks I couldn't find it, and it wasn't a reliable spring, so it might run dry anyway, so I couldn't find it. So it's kind of like a risk-reward situation. How long are you going to stand out there trying to, in the exposed sun, midday? I think it was 85 or something yesterday in that area, which isn't super hot, but when you're just in it all day and there's no shade, and you're uphill and downhill and all that, it's just relentless. Anyway, so I couldn't find the spring, so I'm trying to manage water and then start getting like stomach cramps, and then whatever liquid is in you, like up to your throat, you keep feeling it. I think that's like dehydration signs, and then suddenly I have to pee like crazy over and over again. So it's like the body's releasing every bit of extra liquid, or I don't know what that's about, but oh my gosh, it was bad. So yeah, I got to the last, 4 miles till Crater Lake, and it was finally, sun's starting to go down a little, a lot more shade, a lot cooler, but downhill, which is super painful on my leg. I try to keep it as stiff as I can, but you do that for a couple miles, it's not really helping. Plus I just had no energy. Like, the burn section had sucked it all out of me, so I wasn't going fast, I wasn't making good time. I didn't know what time the store closed, or the restaurant, so I kept trying to do the math, like if I was only doing 2 miles an hour, could I make it? And I kept thinking, maybe I should just set up my tent, but I have no water for the night, which isn't the end of the world, but if it's only 3 more miles, at the very least, even if all the stores are open or closed, then I can at least get water at a campsite. So I just kept having to stop and lay down, like completely lay down, take the pack off, and give it 10-15 minutes just to have any energy. So I just kept doing that, which sucked away time for me getting there, but I just couldn't go on. So eventually I did hit the road, I want to say just after 8, and then it's about a 0.6 mile road walk to Mazama Village. I got there at about 8:25, and the sign on the door says closes at 8:30. So I rushed in, ordered food, ordered a ton of drinks. I'm like the last one there, and I thanked everyone for waiting on me. I was the last order to go out the door. So then I'm trying to find a campsite, There is a designated hiker-biker area there, but the place where you reserve it or whatever is all closed. So I'm trying to figure out where the heck it is. And luckily there's a guy sitting up by the store that's already closed. So, you a PCT hiker? I'm like, yeah. He's like, me too. I've been waiting here since Friday, so 5 days on a tent to arrive. He's like, I've become the unofficial PCT hiker welcoming committee after 8:30. He's like, I sit out here by the store because it's the only place that gets Wi-Fi in the whole area. So he's sitting out there with his phone. So he's like, let me walk you down. And by that point, it's like almost 9. It's like pitch black dark, and there's like 1,000 campsites in that area. I never would have found it without his help. He walked me way down all these roads, tons of campsites, and there's like a designated hiker area. He's just like, anywhere in here. Showed me where the bathrooms were. They had running hot water, and the bathrooms are heated. So nice. So, put up my headlamp, set up my tent in the dark, threw all my gear in there, threw my food in there, and walked down to the bathrooms and did the closest thing I could do to a hot shower in the sink, because I was just sweaty, sunscreen mess. I mean, way worse than before, just caked on from the sun. So the best I could do was a warm shower in the sink, which just felt amazing. Warm water and soap. Can't get the clothes clean, can't get the smell to go away, but rinse my hair out in here. You should see the dirt that just pours off out of your hair and your head into the sink. It's crazy. So anyway, did that, walked back up to the store, sat up there. The guy was back there. I thanked him again, and used the Wi-Fi to contact everyone, tell them I'm good, tell them where I was at, and tell them that I don't have signal at my tent. Went back down and ate, and promptly fell asleep. Well, drank all my 3 sodas, and then fell asleep. Caffeine had no effect. I was too tired. So, and with 3 sodas, you think in the middle of the night I'd have to get up and go pee? Not at all. I feel like I was so dehydrated that every bit of liquid that went in, I was like, yeah, we need that. So yeah, enough of me. Let's look at the trail for a minute. So anyway, went to sleep. Then this morning, I just kind of had in my head that I just did a 22 or something, 23 on Sunday. Calculated up to be a 26 point something, which even blew me away yesterday. So I just looked at, and my leg was hurting. So tired. Like I said, it was a lot of miles, but a bad day. I was just exhausted. So, kind of looked at it going in today, that I would just take my time, see how far I got, not rush anything today, just chill. There's a store, or the store opened at 8:30, so I went down there and got donuts and coffee and chocolate milk, and brought it back to my tent. Just took my time, putting everything away, and then just ate that stuff, drank it, just laid in my tent and stretched my right leg as much as I could, rubbed out the knee as much as I could, rubbed on the calf as much as I could, and then just laid there for like another, 30 minutes with the one leg elevated, stretching, and just relaxed, slowly kind of packed things up. It was kind of cool. There was a couple next to me, or tent side over or whatever. And it looked like, I don't know how much the PCT they're doing. They had 2 kids, and they'd been hiking the PCT. They were packing up all their stuff, and just the dynamic of doing it with kids, getting them to shoulder their bit of the responsibility, and then the weight of the packs with all that many kids. I didn't know what their tent setups were, if it was one big tent for all of them, or what, but it's kind of a cool thing. I think it's something, obviously not at the age my kids are now, and probably not the same kind of mileage, but if we pick and choose some really cool sections of either Oregon and Washington, and both the kids are a little bit bigger, if I can convince my wife, then that could be a fun thing to do. in a lot smaller sections when you're not trying to push miles with kids. That would be no good. So anyway, took my time, tearing the tent down, headed out, swung by the bathroom again. Cold water just feels so good. Gave my hair a rinse from the night, kind of rinsed off the legs the best I could. Back to the store, got another coffee to go, and filled up. They have filtered water from Annie Spring right there up front for free for everyone to fill their bottles, so that's really cool. Really cold, really good water. So I filled up one smart water bottle with that, and I bought 2 Sprites and filled up my other smart water bottle with that, which probably isn't the best for hydration, but I don't know, mentally it just makes a difference for me to have that. Just the taste on the break is way more, I don't know, invigorating or empowering than just water. Plus I'm not going very far, or I have a very long dry section today, so did that, used the bathroom one last time, and headed out. It was quite the climb from Mazama Village back to the PCT, but once you got to the PCT, which I'm on now, smooth sailing, wide open like this. So no set plan. Should be coming to Crater Lake in 3 miles or so. Looks relatively flat. There might be a little climb at the end. Plan to just hang out there. I mean, it's the main place that we always go to at Crater Lake, where this pops out. So I've seen that before. I had tons of pictures there before. Might snap a few more, and then kind of excited to head down the rim trail, and get some different angles and see some things that you don't see as the main tourist kind of area. And then there's a campsite on the north end of the rim trail where they actually let you camp. The rest of Crater Lake, you can't camp unless it's a designated camping site. So the problem is I heard that family talking about they're going about that same mileage, and I heard 2 other groups of hikers saying they're going that same mileage, and there's only 5 campsites there. So I'm not going to rush, but we'll see what there is when I get there. I might have to go further out of the Crater Lake or off the rim trail to find a place to camp, but even then you're talking about 13, 15, 16 mile day, which that's 10 whole miles less than yesterday. And my leg doesn't feel great, but it feels better than it did by the end of yesterday. I do kind of start feeling a little bit of arch discomfort on the left foot, which is exactly what I had when I started the PCT down at the southern terminus in March. I only did like first 4 days, and I started getting that arch pain. Now that was way worse than this. It was just the tingling of that. So something to keep an eye on. But I think the short mileage day today and relatively easy, smooth terrain that a lot of people walk, it's like this really dusty dirt, will do it good. So anyway, that's that. I'll probably take some pictures or a little bit of video at Crater Lake, hang out there if I can find a good shady bench, and just take my time today. It's nice not to feel like you're in a rush, or you're rushing to water, or you're rushing to get out of a exposed burn section or any of that. Just take it easy. Kind of the problem with that is looking at mileage. My plan was to be Shelter Cove by Friday. It's Tuesday, so I was going to meet my friend there at Shelter Cove, and we're going to head out on Friday when he got there and do some short mileage days, but I'd have to be there by Friday. And just looking at the mileage without doing 20 pluses 4 days in a row, I'm not gonna get there. So if I have service up at Crater Lake, I'm gonna message him, see maybe if he wants to cut it from 4 days to 3 days. We'll still do from Shelter Cove to Elk Lake, just instead of 10 mile days, we'll do 14. And I think he can, 14 are still long days, but I think he can handle that. We can divide him up, so maybe the first one where he's got the most energy is a little longer, and then shorter as we go. So I'm hoping to have service up at Crater Lake, get some messages out, kind of replan that, because I can't push another 20 and then another 20 and then another 20 after just doing the 26. I think it's wise to take a little bit slower day. I got a nice text from my wife this morning that said, it's not a race, slow and steady. And it's an important thing for me to remember. It's trying to make plans that fit with everyone else's. That always throw me off. I need to get better at balancing that, because I want to do the stuff with other people. I want them to have a good time too, but I can't be pushed and hurt myself to make that happen. And also, same thing, I miss my family. The farther I get, the quicker I get to sisters where they're going to meet me, the sooner I get to see them. But what good am I if the price of seeing them sooner is that I can't finish the trail? Like, what was the point of all this? So better to wait a couple days to see them, or even a week longer, and be in good shape for it, and see them and not be able to move or walk or do anything with the kids, or have a fun time when they're here, and then not also be able to finish the trail, which is the whole point of doing this. Okay, I think more than 15 minutes worth of talking is enough. So, here we are. Been here, I don't know, a handful of times in my life, 5 times, something like that. I've heard it said, and I would agree now, there's something different about hiking up to it than there is driving to it. So, I don't know, got here a couple hours ago. Took a rest in the shade, got service, contacted everyone, sent some pictures. Waited in line at the cafe, got a hot dog and a Coke there, had that, rested a little bit more, refilled my water, and now I'm headed down the trail. So it's kind of cool. I'm excited as we loop around to get some angles. The typical angles are all the tourist stops, so possibly to get some different picture angles than what you normally get. I don't know if you can see it, there's a boat or something down there. Let's see. Yeah, coming across the lake. Anyway, ton of tourists for, a Tuesday? So that's crazy. I think I got like 8 miles to go. So there's a campsite, but there's been a lot of PCT hikers in front of me. And I met up with that family that was down at Zama Village. They made it up the hill. I don't know how those kids are champs, and they all had way bigger packs than what I have. They made it down the hill. They were getting lunch at the Rim Village when I left. So we'll see how full the campsite is when I get there. If I have to hike a little bit further, I'm only 110, so I don't have to find the perfect spot, just something relatively flat. But if that spot doesn't work, I have to at least get out of Crater Lake National Park, which isn't that far. It's a couple more miles to be able to camp if it's not at one of the designated camp spots. So yeah, it's nice in the shade, windy up here, so hopefully you can hear me. And now away from all the tourists, so that's nice too. Campsite for the night. Just heard a loud grunting noise. Freaked me out. You probably can't see it, but there's a doe right over there. reflection of the sunlight. The tunnel, maybe you can see. Because I backtracked a little bit from the campsite area that they had on gut hooks because there was absolutely no signal. So I came, oh, there she is. So I came out here a little further, so there's like no other tents around. And I just lay in here. I heard a loud grunting behind me, like really close. I jumped up. I guess the deer, she's like, what? Even scared when I jumped up or the pad made a noise. Anyway, so lots of crazy elevation up and down on the trail around Crater Lake today. So it wasn't a super long day. Can't remember, it was like 15, 16, something like that, but just up and down, up and down, up and down. Plus the climb up from Mazama village was pretty brutal to the rim trail, the rim trail. And then, it's the hike around. Got some good pictures. Met a really nice lady that's hiking the Oregon section too. Found a spot for the night. I'm about a mile away from the PCT, so we'll hit that in the morning. And then we're right at the highway 138, 28, I always forget. Is about 8 miles away, and that's at the base of Mount Thielsen, and then we start climbing up towards that, and there's a big elevation gain. So we'll see what time I get to that point tomorrow. So anyway,